It is at last the performance. Rarely have we looked forward surely to the
field since October 1995. We haven't got a 24-car grid because two of them are in the pit lane, as you know.
There's Jarno Trulli, Heikki Kovalainen, and away they go on their formation lap. This now the second longest circuit on the Formula One calendar. Just under 4 miles, Spa, Belgium.
One car with a brand new set of tyres. Those in the top 10 were locked into using the exact same set of tyres that they qualified on. So there's a slight advantage for 11th backwards. But now it's all about who's brake.
In 2010, 4 world champions, and we are underway down towards that first corner. Lewis Hamilton makes a move, but it's Vettel from Massa, from Alonso. With a move up there by Michael Schumacher, who seems to have got ahead. There was a problem there. Was it from Mark Webber? Mark Webber, there's all sorts of blue smoke coming out of the rear of his car there.
At the back, cars across the gravel.
Of reconnaissance really for the Hispania racing team. They barely managed 7 laps in a row. In fact, for Virgin, they've only managed to put together a run of 12 laps. And here, this race is going to last 49, so a huge demand there.
Look at that lead then, 2 seconds at the end of lap 1 for Sebastian Vettel. That's a dream start. Now we think he could be up to 10 kilograms and a half seconds.
It's a long lap, of course, isn't it?
It is a long lap, but that's a lot of time as well. Formula One car goes a long way in 8.5 seconds. Mark Webber was about a metre ahead of his box, his start box, and it's about the sensors are looking at relative movement. He may
out onto the gravel there. So, up to date then in terms of various replays. Sebastian Vettel continues to lead, 2.3 seconds. He's eked out a little bit more from Fernando Alonso. There's the confirmation. There is Hulkenberg coming in now. Started on the softer tire, his teammate Tonio Liuzzi, but Alan Prost, part of a panel of 4 for the stewards to advise on driving and any incidents that we might encounter today.
It's more of a technical sort of slam dunk though, isn't it? It's a factual thing. They should be able to read where the car was in terms of its starting position and its relative movement. But Liuzzi and Sutil got together for Force India. He's up into 9th place and running reasonably nicely.
Just a word about the leaders, by the way. Lap 5, and Fernando Alonso has just lapped 0.2 quicker than Sebastian Vettel. Keep an eye on that one. The gap is still something like 2 seconds, so Vettel not under immediate threat. But let's see what sort of performance the Ferraris can turn in.
Hamilton's rear tyres beginning to go off. He's struggling with rear end grip and traction in places. That's given Rosberg a bit of breathing space. It's lovely to see those two fighting. I remember when they were in their young teens, bristling into the paddock as karting teammates, full of confidence and hope, and here they are delivering it.
Mark Webber just 9/10 down on Michael Schumacher. Just this race, they're talking about the cascade effect in terms of the reactive strategy. Nothing like the scripted fuel that we had last year, where the teams knew exactly what the fuel loads were, when they were likely to be stopping. Lap 15, 16, 17, they knew that they had a 3-lap window, for example, to push on as much as possible. Here, with no stopping for refueling, just to check something like 23, 24 seconds. So if there's a gap that large, that would be just right for someone like Vettel, maybe Alonso, to make their move. Massa's just set the fastest sector time for the first part of the track. He's just set a personal best as well for the long, twisting, very tight, downforce demanding infield section. So he's responded to what Rob Smedley has said.
Pre-season testing, looking for sponsors or something without the ballast or fueling, because they looked the real deal, didn't they, at the end of nearly all of the tests actually, and they've turned up here and been slow. There's no other word for it.
Now we've heard from Cameron Chanduk. Let's hear from Lucas de Grassa, the other driver, sadly to have retired on another new team, Virgin, going out. Just see if we can pick up this team. Vettel has just set the fastest lap. Now pulled out another 0.4 of a second over Fernando Alonso. He's now almost 6 seconds clear of Massa and 15 seconds clear, almost 15, over Nico Rosberg. So he is really carrying all before him at the moment.
This kid's the real deal, make no mistake about that. Could so easily have been the world champion last year, but that's the fight we were talking about.
Head of Kovalainen and Glock, isn't he, down into 16th.
Buys himself a bit of clear air. race wrecked by getting knocked into a spin, and this is it.
Lock coming through on the inside of Kovalainen. Fresh rubber, the car lighter. You'll obviously go fast, and it could be as much as 2 seconds.
And to confirm that, Jonathan, the Kubica then, a 2:01.3, easily the fastest lap of the race. So a fresh set of the harder tyres is perfect now, and that's valuable information for these three. And who is going to react to that?
Well, he's already done more laps than Virgin had ever done in one particular run. Apparently he's lost 4th gear, so this is a problem, but I think it's going to be because he needs as much mileage as possible. Here's Alonso. Let's keep an eye on this then. So Alonso stopping. He's been 8 seconds down on Vettel.
Red Bull will have him then. 1, 2, 3 as they were. Slightly more spaced out, if anything.
Hamilton's just at the fastest lap. 2 minutes dead. So it's working out so far for Red Bull. We talked so much, and so much of the talk within the paddock was of how Red Bull have had problems with their rear tyres.
Carriageway, isn't it, with a lollipop stick and saying, hey, you stop, and judging where he is exactly. This is for position, although of course Hamilton has already made his one and only scheduled pit stop. There's a sick Formula 1 car out there somewhere as well, and which I suspect will turn up anytime soon. There it is.
There's Bruno Senna, and that doesn't sound too good at all. And that's quite 7th, started 7th, still there. People expecting too much from him, do you think?
Well, it's inevitable, isn't it, after he dominated so many races. And we remember the days when everybody else with 1 stop, so he'd 4 stop and still beat them, and it was just a game almost in the end, wasn't it? So, but others have upped their game. He's 41 years old. He doesn't seem
started most impressively here. Still no sign that Ferrari can, or we'll have to watch, shall we say, to see whether Ferrari can really take the fight to them on the next 27 laps, the final 27 laps of this first race in 2010. Ted Kravitz, what news?
Down at McLaren, where Lewis Hamilton's brakes are overheating slightly. A radio message has gone out.
Now to the back of Button's gearbox. That was an earlier overtake we were getting a replay of there. But Button then 29 seconds off the lead now. He's going to be thoroughly disappointed with that, and we're not even to half distance.
Okay, Jensen, pace is good. You are catching Michael ahead, but we need a full race distance on this set. Look after the tyres.
A lot of brake dust coming off Button's car when he brakes, suggesting his rear brake.
Enjoyed Formula 1 so far?
Yeah, it was really nice to drive. I did fantastic start, and I did very good first lap, overtake some people, was really nice. And I was quicker than Barrichello. I just tried to push, and I think soon I will overtake him.
Interesting squabble brewing. Michael Schumacher is Schumacher and Button. Bizarre.
Jenson Button being tracked all the while by Mark Webber. Remember, it was the other way round at the end of last season in Abu Dhabi, when Jenson Button was trying to get through past Mark Webber. Let's just see. His back marker there, was it? Was for the...
And you lose about 0.2 of a second per lap by the car not skimming along the ground and creating downforce.
Using those front flap adjusters much more this season than last. It was very much the plan that they would use them far more significantly last year, but it never really seemed to happen.
64.1 in the middle sector, Vettel and Alonso, and Alonso starting to try to annoy. Down to 1.1 the gap now. Alonso staying out of the hot, turbulent air that's coming off the back of that Red Bull. He doesn't want to overheat his car. That's why he was ducking around wherever Vettel went, especially if you're trying to lean the mixture off to get...
Massa is doing the same lap times as you. Massa is doing the same lap times as you. Alonso behind you is likely to overheat and burn up his tyres, so just maintain the gap.
There you go.
Let's see how that one's going to play out there. Rocky, Sebastian Vettel's race engineer.
Fuel saving corner 1. We need to do it. We need to do it. for the engine as well. It's not just for this race, it's for the other races.
There's a hurry up from Rob Smedley to Felipe Massa.
Right, so that means short shifting then. The engines are hot on those two Ferraris, and they need to save some fuel, and that means don't take it to 17,900 beautifully. It's just getting, remember last year they had a lot of reliability issues, didn't they, with the Renault engine. I think he'll be a sitting target on the pit straight, and then Alonso will have the clear air that he craves to cool that Ferrari down. Yeah, I think it's got an exhaust broken or something like that. He's going to drive clean past him.
Alonso's through and struggled through the last 4 races on having used up the allocation of his engines. Alonso, by the way, just at the fastest lap, 1:59.4. Now almost 4 seconds clear of Massa, 6 seconds clear of Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton is now just 4 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel, who looks to be struggling now.
I tell you what, that's a wake-up call.
So that's the bad news confirmed from Rocky for Sebastian Vettel, and look how close Lewis Hamilton is. Ted, what can you tell us?
So that's very interesting that an exhaust has failed, because that is what it sounds like. I've been taking my headphones off and listening to the Vettel's car, as it passes me in the pits every time. It sounds like it's at full chat, and I think you've seen on a graphic that
Bit of a shocker for Massa. Sets the scene for the season, doesn't it?
Massa ahead in qualifying yesterday, Alonso so far ahead in the race today. Let's see how Rosberg's responding with Schumacher closing.
That's Schumacher, Button and Webber in close formation. 6th, 7th
each other, but Alonso and Massa still separated by just under 6 seconds.
The good news with Vettel, of course, is that doesn't mean an engine change. Doesn't mean he's consuming one of his 8 allowable for the season if it is an exhaust and it's not a mechanical issue within the engine. Difficult weekend, Mark, hasn't he? There's various problems with the car. He didn't get it together, made mistakes in qualifying, and was unlucky in the beginning. Of course, threw all that blue smoke out and clearly lost a little bit of power while that was sorting itself out. It's not been
got boxed in as well, really.
Including this one. I didn't think they'd be so far off their qualifying pace. Quickest we've seen anywhere near a qualifying pace is 6 seconds off.
Alonso and Hamilton lapping in the just under 2 minutes. Gap between Alonso and Massa, 8.8 seconds. Hamilton's 8 seconds behind Massa in third.
Be starting to two-stop on some circuits. It'll come alive, I think, if all the tyres are falling apart. But these Bridgestones are too good for that. So I think we might be set for this one stop early in the race kind of format. The teams will regulate that and normalise that, and then it'll start coming together a bit.
Interesting start. I don't think Michael Schumacher will need any encouragement as Rosberg and Schumacher close in. Webber just goes fastest on the first sector. Still with that battle. Those cars, 6.
He's fallen back to last place. His teammate Kovalainen has overtaken him, but they're just hoping to get 2 Lotuses. Is it Lotus? Is it Lotuses to the end, which is more than Virgin Racing, their dread rivals, would have managed. Andrew Shublin's been on the radio to Michael Schumacher, telling him to keep up the pace and he can get that place off Sebastian Vettel, which will be
steady difference in the end. It's extraordinary drive, and that's because it's something you learn at Le Mans a lot.
It's looking tight for Nico Rosberg. Going through now. 3 laps to go. Tightening his grip, but can he man out there for Toro Rosso? Barrichello's just set his personal best, 1:59.8. So Buemi, who was out of the points in 14th. Now, can Rosberg take this fight to Vettel and close him down?
Rosberg's in the dirty air zone. Vettel, he's just got to stay even this close to him.
First time back racing after his accident last year. Comes in second. It's a 1-2 for Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton coming through in third for McLaren. And there's the man who started on pole. Sebastian Vettel.
Keeps 4th place. That could be important for the points later on in the year, especially the new point system.
Felipe Massa on his racing comeback is 2nd for Ferrari, and Lewis Hamilton for McLaren also on the podium. Didn't quite work out for Robert Kubica there or Adrian Sutil. Both started in the top 10 but had